So, first of all, how much of Charlie is you?
All the good parts. No. Look, Charlie is, in terms of my worldview, in terms of what I want for people, Charlie's very close to me. Some of the things that he went through in life, I went through in life. But some of it was invention, so there is a separation.
Yeah.
But I'd say he's, of all the characters that I've ever written in my entire career, he is the closest to my heart.
With all the press that you've been doing for the film, I know that you probably had a lot of people come up to you and talk about how much this book meant to them growing up. Do you have one experience, maybe not even necessarily tied to the movie, but just someone that's come up to you and said something about how this book has affected them?
Yeah, it's been really overwhelming, I have to say, to be on the road promoting the movie, because I don't do that many bookstore appearances or things like that. I'll go to classes sometimes for schools, but it's not even about an individual person, although individual people have said something to me in every stop that have brought tears to my eyes, because they've confessed a lot of things to me. It's the magnitude of it. It's the sheer. You understand? I'm a fairly private person, and to go to, let's say, a screening and then have 200 people line up for autographs, and every one of them has a story for me. It's incredible. I can't believe how many us there are. That's how I would put it, because it's been amazing, and everybody gets this thing, that the movie's about and the book's about, and it's really gratifying.
Cool.
Yeah.
So with us, you mean Wallflower.
Just people that get it, people that get this thing. Like, look, it's not. It's not about people that have been through rough things. It's not about people who are gay. It's not that. It's or people who are really shy that are wallflowers. I think it's people. Person that's felt like a bit of an outcast. It's a pretty big tent. It's amazed me how many people feel out than in. Actually, at this point, I don't know who feels in.
I think out's kind of in now, though.
Or maybe it always was, and we just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Because when you look back to high school and you think about who was popular, okay, in my high school there was probably 1,600 students, and I'd say the true popular crowd, the popular, undeniably popular kids, maybe were 30 people.
Yeah.
So that means that, 1,570 people were not popular. So, yeah, our group is bigger. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can take over.
Did you watch any of the fan-made trailers on YouTube that have
Yeah,
been
I've
there
seen
since the start of YouTube, even before it grew into?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of them. They're great. Some of them have been really moving. In YouTube, it's funny. There's this one shot of the Fort Pitt Tunnel that this one guy, what did he call himself? Something Fellini, Franco Fellini, something like that. He did, and he put it to the song "Vapor Trail" by Ride, which is one of my favorite songs. And when I was writing the movie, when I would get stuck on a scene in the middle, I'd be like, okay, someday this movie's going to end in the tunnel, and I would watch his thing over and over on YouTube just to be inspired to know.
He kind of captured the feeling the most out of all the people on YouTube, or?
I would say yeah, because it's just this uninterrupted loop through the Fort Pitt Tunnel. It was great, but no, there were so many good trailers and fan fiction, and I know for a fact there have been several student play productions of it. And it's funny that the kids would write to me over the years and they'd say, can we have permission to put on your play? And I'd always say it the same way. I said, listen guys, I can't give you permission because it would involve so much time figuring it out legally, It's such a headache, and I don't have time right now. But if you honestly believe that I'm the kind of person that's going to stalk you down or stalk you at your school and make you not put on the play, if you really think I'm a lawsuit person, then you probably shouldn't do it. Wink, wink. Go ahead and do it. So, but yeah, no, all the trailers, everything, all the fan art, it's been phenomenal.
How involved were you with the casting for this? Because it seems, especially with Logan, it just seems like perfect casting.
Well, as the director, I was intimately involved with everything. Casting was I certainly had help. I had wonderful casting directors. My producers had a great eye. The studio there were certain people that I was not aware of that were brought to me, like Nina Dobrev. I had never seen Vampire Diaries, and I wasn't aware of her work. And Eric Feig from Summit really loved her and said, "Take another look. Take a look at this girl. She's really special." And he was right. And I loved her. And I'm trying to think of who else. But I will say, being the author of the book and living a lot of this story and writing the screenplay, I knew what I was looking for. So there was a moment, even though I hadn't heard of Nina before, once I saw her, I said, "Oh, that girl's special, fantastic. Let's do a callback," and then it happened.
Did you have any of the cast members in mind before the casting phase?
No. I wrote the characters. I was concerned about the characters, and then when I was done, then I looked at the landscape of like, okay, who's really special out there, and it was fairly obvious who were the best actors for this tone. Emma, right away, I saw her in Goblet of Fire, and she was just scene with Daniel Radcliffe in front of the staircase at a school dance, I think it was. And she was crying. She broke my heart in that scene. I thought, that girl's great. And I realized she got better every movie. And I loved that. I loved her like blue-collar work ethic about acting. Logan, he gave a great performance. I knew him from Percy Jackson, but he wanted to audition for that role of Charlie. And I think, am I still answering your question?
Yes,
sure.
yeah.
Okay, good. So ask a follow-up if I've given you enough for
Yeah, that's
okay,
perfect.
Great. I love these kids. I love every one of them, and the adults too. Look, everybody worked for scale. No one made money from this. This was a special one for everybody. And when Paul Rudd gives you 2 days, and Joan Cusack gives you a day, and Dylan and Kate, who are both big TV stars, they come out and they auditioned even, and people had a real dedication with this one, and it made the difference, I think.
Had a lot of the cast read the book before?
Some had. Ezra had many times.
Okay.
Ezra read it when he was 14. He loved the book. He actually loved the book so much that when he heard they were making a movie, he saw a script. This is the story I heard anyway. That he saw the script like at a mutual actor, like an actor friend's house, and he got so mad he threw it against the wall because he didn't know I'd done it. And then when he realized, and I think people wanted to audition him, and I think he resisted until he realized that I was the one doing the movie.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Oh, that would be fun." So he had read it. The rest of them, they read the script first, and then they found the book.
Oh, okay.
For the most part, yeah. And a couple of the older actors, a couple of the adults had read it, I believe. But yeah, Ezra's the only one publicly. He'd read it several times. It was one of his books.
Yeah, his favorites.
In school, yeah.
When you were writing the screenplay, which is already like however many, was it like 6 or 7 years after the publication of the book, and
Like 10.
10 years? Oh wow.
10, 11.
And then, even when you had written the book, you had been out of high school for however many years.
Right.
So how different is it when you were adapting the book for film to be in your mid-30s? Or
Yeah, well,
I get my math wrong, but
No, your math is right.
Yeah.
It was late 30s, but thank you. You know what it is? It's for me, it took some work. It took some work to get there and to listen to the songs again and remember and really respect and honor, right at eye level, not talking down, but also not pandering up. Right at eye level, what young people go through, and to respect it. To recognize that the first kiss you ever have is so unique and special, or to remember what it was like to be at that dance and feel all shy, and just a lot of memory work, But it came from a real philosophy, which is I was going to respect what young people, the totality of what young people go through at eye level. That's what was important to me, and that mantra helped me navigate some of those memories, so I could make it as realistic as possible.
You didn't feel farther away from it than even when you were writing the book.
I felt a lot farther away from it, but but my job was to go back and figure out and remember and connect the dots. You know, it's funny too, something happened on set that was very special to me, you know, where when we arrived in Pittsburgh, at first it was about my nostalgia it was about my nostalgia. That was what the process was. And within days of the kids being around, it stopped being about my memory and started being about their reality, which was so fun to watch them stay up all night and, you know, take all the, you know, because they had one of those hotels where it's like all these, the doors, and they just took them off and they're always open, and to watch them have a young experience. Because the thing I like to point out to people is that Emma, Logan, and Mae Whitman basically grew up on film sets their whole life. And Ezra did have some school experience, but he left high school, I think, at 16. These kids never had prom. They never went to homecoming dance, you know.
They're not going to be outcasts.
Yeah, you know. Well, no, but they're actually the ultimate outcast because they had nobody around. They grew up on sets. And so that's what was so powerful about the prom scenes and the graduation and homecoming, because they finally got to do this thing that was so exotic to them. And they got to have that high school experience, which was great.